Gotta watch this on here. I have a job too. I gotta find out where we are though. So we're coming from the rainbow page. Are we on? Okay, hi. Hi, my name is Kim, and this is Princess MOCHA, and we are the Rainbow Support Group SC. What we're doing is our Friday night support lives, and you can find us at www.rainbowsupportgroupsc.com. We also have 3 Facebook pages. We've got our Rainbow Support group, which is a private group, and then we've got our Rainbow Support Group page, and then we've got our Charleston chapter Rainbow Support Group page as well. So you can contact us through there. So Princess MOCHA, what are we doing for tonight?
Well, a lot of you were able to catch our live earlier in the week, and we talked about, like Kim just said, every Friday we've been bringing you these support lives just to give you a few more tips, to be here to talk, to give you that extra support. So today's topic is going to be stress, and stress has been a topic for the past few weeks, whether or not like Kim and I have talked about it, or another one of our board members have talked about it. But stress is one thing that's really making an impact on everybody's lives today. So I feel like it's a very good topic to keep covering. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
And I agree that it is. And during, normally we all deal with stress on the regular. And I deal with lots of people that have anxiety. So they deal with stress beyond stress. And then with the pandemic, okay, so now everybody's got stress that's normal stress. And now everybody's got all this extra stress. So yes, I think that us paying attention to the fact, number one, that we have stress and that we're not always acting as sweet as we want to be. We being snappy and stuff. David had a good thing. Now, David, of course, is our communications guy. So he's doing his job in the background right now. And then he's going to come on, and then he's going to take over and be just somebody. It's too funny because he has so many hats with the rainbow. David, it's like, who are you today? I don't know. What am I doing today? It all depends on what he's doing. So hello to everyone, and thank you for joining us, and for those that join later, because we are aware that most of our viewers view it at different times. And since we're global, that would make sense, because when we're here talking, it might not be that time. They might be sleepy. So they'll see it tomorrow sometime if they do. And we've been noticing on our website is wonderful. It lets us know when people visit our website and where they're from. And we have seen some of the coolest places. And it's really neat of how do they know where we are? I don't care. I am so excited we're meeting all of these new people. I am so excited to think that we're reaching that many LGBT outside of our little bubble that started. It started in Greer, South Carolina. You probably can't even find that on a map somewhere, okay? It's like a little tiny, nothing little bitty city in South Carolina. It's not even a city. It's like a town. And to think that we've gone global is just magnificent, and that I love that. And we're going to reach all of the LGBT eventually. We'll meet them all. I'm excited.
And remember, if you're watching this, I know I've had a lot of people say, I know you have an LGBT support group, but I'm straight. Well, we like our allies too, and what some of the content that we bring might be directed towards the LGBT community, but there's bits and pieces that even our straight allies can take and adapt.
Absolutely. And some of the stuff we deal with, I mean, yes, we're LGBT, okay, and we deal with our own little issues. But some of the most stuff I deal with is just regular depression, regular anxiety, regular stuff that everybody deals with, which is my point to the world. The LGBT is no different than anyone else. I mean, yes, the same problems, relationship problems, job problems. Now, there's different things, but in any marginal society, there is a group of people who feel separate from, and they have different reactions to things. But there's a general thing across just humanity Okay. And stress and how we handle it, that's just something that we deal with. That's not an LGBT thing. And we have to have our allies. If we don't have our allies, how are we ever going to pass laws? We're a minority. That means we'll always have less votes. Oh, introduce David now. We'll just talk forever, MOCHA.
Yes. Welcoming in, this is David. He's our communications director with the
Hi,
Rainbow.
everyone. I am so glad to be here tonight. You guys see me pop in and out of these live streams frequently. If you will, I'm kind of the man behind the curtain most of the time, but tonight I'm the big talking head that Dorothy is looking at tonight. So I'm really excited, a little bit nervous, but I think it'll be a great night. We got some great information for everyone. As it's already been said in the comments, these are stressful times, and Fox said that he was glad we were discussing this topic because it is something that affects everyone. So we definitely want to cover that and be sure that everyone has some coping techniques that they can use to de-stress when they need to. So let's dive right in. We've got kind of a question and answer session going on tonight.
We do.
Answer comments.
We do. I have paperwork.
Please pop them on the live screen. Kim's got all the notes in front of her. If you have any questions or comments about stress, please comment. We're going to be watching for your comments tonight. So let's just dive right in.
I'm in charge of that. So everybody, if we mess up, it's because of me, because the communication guy is off for today. Okay. So our first question is, what is stress?
Well, technically, stress is defined as a situation that triggers a particular biological response. When you perceive a threat or a major challenge, your brain does amazing things. It releases chemicals and hormones that just go surging through your body. It can trigger what we call that fight or flight response to that particular situation. Typically, after that fight or flight, does its thing, your body begins to relax. Now, I know that I've experienced stress in my life, and I know Mo, you experience stress. So tell me, have you ever experienced that fight or flight kind of reaction?
It kind of makes me think of, when you're watching Animal Planet and you see the little gazelle all peaceful, chewing on grass, and then all of a sudden you see the whole body change because it's picking up on different things and its body's reacting in different ways. And then it finally catches a glimpse of a cheetah, and then fight or flight instincts take off. And that's basically how stress is how it's the feelings that you take in and then how you interpret like what you're bringing in. And so, like, remember we talked it wasn't a long time ago, a few weeks ago, about like symptoms of stress. And a lot of people don't really know a lot of the symptoms can be related and started from stress. We talked about loneliness, insecurity, restlessness. All things are contributed by stress. And Kim
it is one of those things.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Kim
stress makes you sick.
Talking about the stress and how like everybody's affected by it, especially if you weren't affected by it now. You definitely have a little bit more stress due to the pandemic.
Right. And you do. Okay, David, is all stress bad?
Stress is not necessarily a bad thing. It helped our ancestors way back in ancient times survive. It's just as important in today's world. It can be very healthy when it helps you avoid an accident. For example, you're driving down the road, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a car run a red light, so you slam on the brakes. It's that sudden rush of that stressful situation that helps your body to respond quickly to a dangerous situation. And we all feel stressed at times, but stress from one person to another can feel very different. But on the basic level, it helps your body to respond quickly to dangerous situations.
Perceived or not. or reality or not. Yes. These are really great things in here. I like this. 80% of Americans reported they had at least one symptom of stress in the last month. And 20% said they're under extreme stress. That's what we were talking about, Mocha. Like, I don't have statistics for you. I can just tell you what's on my phone. I can tell you what Facebook feels like in the morning when I wake up and read it. David, this stuff is so for real. I mean, yes, stress can motivate you to do things, but you really do need to control it. So define stress.
So stress in terms of medical is a normal biological response to a potentially dangerous situation, whether that's a real danger or something we just perceive in our brains as a danger. When you have sudden stress, your brain absolutely floods your body with chemicals and hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. It gets your heart pumping a little faster. It tenses up your muscles. You feel energized. You have a heightened awareness. I think I know the three of us have been in situations before, coming out of a bar that just didn't feel quite right. So we're a little bit more aware of our surroundings than we normally would be. Well, that was that automatic response to that stress hormone being released. So there's different stages of stress and different ways that people adopt to stress, but at its most basic, it helps to keep you safe. It releases all these hormones and these chemicals that heighten your awareness, that send blood to your muscles, that prepare you for that fight or flight that we were talking about.
Right. Right, which can be good. I mean, if you're in trouble. I just keep thinking about me doing it in the doctor's office, which isn't good. Mocha's seen me do that. I do the fight or flight, and I flight right away. Okay, so let's talk about stress hormones.
Now, this is one of my favorite bits of this entire live tonight, because this is where we get into the nerdy kind of stuff. So you've got a couple of different hormones that come into play when your body perceives stress. When your body senses danger, the hypothalamus, which is a little spot in the brain right at the base of the brain, it's going to send out those nervous signals and those hormone signals to your adrenal glands, which is going to release all those hormones into your system. Now, these hormones, it should be noted, are nature's way of preparing you to face that danger and increase your chances of survival. It's like Mocha was talking about that gazelle on the Serengeti. You can see it on the nature programs. Their head pops up, they're listening, and their bodies tense up. They're getting ready to jump and run. Well, it's the same thing in the human body. Again, it increases your heartbeat. It's going to increase your breathing rate. You're going to start to breathe a little faster. It makes it easier for your muscles to burn glucose, which is quick energy. Anyone that's a diabetic knows all about glucose. Glucose is what your body uses for energy. It's going to make your blood vessels just a little bit smaller and contract those just a little bit so that the blood can go quickly where it needs to go. You may also, when you get into a stressful situation, you may start to sweat a little bit. That's all normal. Don't think that when you're in a stressful situation and your heart's pounding and you're breathing really fast, don't think there's something wrong with you. No, this is all a normal bodily response. And while it's helpful in the moment, frequent adrenaline surges can actually do damage to your body. So if you're constantly in a stressful situation, you're hurting yourself over time. It can lead to high blood pressure, an increased risk of heart attack and stroke, anxiety, insomnia, weight gain. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And this is all caused by adrenaline. So if you find yourself frequently in stressful situations, you really need to try to find some ways, and we'll go over some in a little bit, but try to find some ways to keep yourself calm. If you experience a lot of anxiety, calming techniques are super, super important.
And we've said that for the longest time, that you have to focus on the positive. I know shit happens, okay? Life happens. That's just the way that is, okay? I've never lied and said that life is perfect to anyone. I've never said that. Um, Stress happens, and we have to do it. But I've always said we got to find a way to not be stressed out all the time. If you're stressed out all the time and you're negative all the time, you're going to have body problems. You're going to have headaches. Just like you said, you're going to have these things. You're going to have heart stuff. You're going to have headaches. You're going to have insomnia. You're not going to have a healthy body weight. You're not going to be healthy. You have to lessen your stress. It's very important to become educated about stress and how bad it can be for your body. Like, it's not just, oh, just relax, whatever, whatever. No, it's for real. It's for real. If you don't, and you just stress out and you're negative all the time, you're going to make yourself really sick. Okay, tell us about stress and cortisol.
Now, cortisol, if you don't know, which I imagine a great many people don't know, because I didn't know this until I did my research this week. But cortisol is the main stress hormone. It plays an absolutely vital role in stressful situations. Some of the things that it can do in a stressful situation, it raises the amount of glucose in your bloodstream, which helps your brain in turn more effectively use that glucose and raises the accessibility of substances that help with tissue repair. So think of it this way. If all of a sudden you're running for your life, your legs are going to cramp. They're going to get tired because they're not ready for that sudden activity. Well, glucose is going to help your body fight that cramp and fight that tiredness in your legs in a life-threatening situation. It's also going to alter, your immune response, dampening all sorts of things so that your body can focus on what it needs to do in that dangerous situation. Whether that situation is, again, real or just something that you're perceiving in your brain, there is a whole host of things that happen in your body when you're in a stressful situation. Some other things that cortisol can do is it can actually dampen the reproductive system. So that's something I didn't know. So if you're constantly under stress and you're trying to say, a man and a woman are trying to trying to conceive a baby.
Or
if
a
they're
woman and a
constantly
woman, or
under
a man and a
stress,
man, or whatever.
right. It's
throwing
going
it out
to
there.
affect those reproductive organs. Females are not going to be as fertile. Males are not going to produce as high a sperm count. It affects so many different things. They used to tell people when they were trying to conceive a baby, get away from home, go on vacation, relax.
Or they told women not to worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. If you get pregnant, you do. If you don't, you don't. Because if you get stressed out about it, you're not going to. But these same things are the same things as the other, like the weight gain, the sleep problems, the lack of energy, blah, blah, blah. It all is, if you're negative and stressed out, it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause problems. So you don't want to be stressed out. Okay, so are there different types of stress?
There are actually different types of stress. There's 3 categories of stress. Acute stress, episodic acute stress, and chronic stress. So let's talk about acute stress for a minute. Now, acute stress happens to everyone. We all experience acute stress. You're not alone. Absolutely not alone when you experience acute stress. It's that body's immediate reaction to a new or challenging situation that, again, where you feel there's a danger, or you feel that, when you narrowly escape something, that's acute stress that you're feeling. It can also come out of something that you actually enjoy, which is very, very surprising. It can be somewhat frightening, but think of the thrill seekers out there. You're jumping out of an airplane, going skydiving. that rush that you get when you get back to the ground. Oh my God, I can't believe we did that. Oh my God. Or you're going mountain climbing, and that oh my goodness feeling, that's actually acute stress that you're feeling, even though you enjoyed what you just did. So that's, that's acute stress in a nutshell. Now, we can take acute stress to the next level, which is called a severe acute stress. And it is when you're faced with like a life-threatening situation, that fight or flight. We're going to keep coming back to that. It's that fight or flight that falls under severe acute stress. It can, prolonged severe acute stress can lead to PTSD, depression, and, just a whole host of mental illnesses and chronic illnesses, which is bad, bad, bad for your body. Now, another form of stress is called the episodic acute stress. It's when you have frequent episodes of acute stress. We touched on it a little bit ago. If you're constantly experiencing frequent stress, then that's what we call episodic acute stress. It might happen if you're often anxious or worried about things. Don't know, how you're going to pay the power bill this month. You don't know how you're going to put food on the table this week because you're worried about how to pay the power bill. You don't know how you're going to, get diapers for the kids because you don't know how you're going to put food on the table because you don't know how you're going to pay the power bill. This is episodic acute stress when it happens over and over and over again. Now, certain professions like law enforcement or firefighters, for example, might be exposed to frequent high stress situations. And that's just part of the territory when it comes to those sorts of jobs. But just like severe acute stress, episodic acute stress can affect your physical and your mental well-being. So again, it's all building up to finding ways to keep yourself calm, finding ways to calm yourself down. It's so super important for your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, is finding those ways to calm yourself down. So super important. And then the one that's we really want to try to avoid is the chronic stress. Now, when you have high stress levels for a long period of time, they call that chronic stress. Long-term stress like this can have a negative impact on your health. It helps contribute to anxiety, cardiovascular disease, depression, high blood pressure. It can actually weaken your immune system, so it's harder for you to fight off illness and fight off infection. Which was really, really surprising to me. I didn't know that. It can also lead to headaches, upset stomachs, difficulty sleeping, diabetes, heart disease. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So it's super important, as we're going to keep saying, it's super important to find ways to calm yourself down and to maintain kind of an even across the waves there.
Right. And MOCHA and I have talked about for years with everybody. And we deal with a lot of people that have these complaints: stomach, sleeping, headaches, stressed out, the whole thing. I mean, that's like common. That's not uncommon. And I like that you gave us examples of how it literally affects you. So it's not just us saying, don't do that because it's not good for you. Okay, no, it's not good for your heart. It's not good for your liver. It's not good for your blood pressure. Pretty much I got 4 pages of stuff, and you know what? Stress isn't good for you. Okay, so what are we going to do, David? David has 2 more pages of some management stressful things to do. How do you manage your stressful situations? So yeah, David, let's give them something to chew on. We need to learn, and education is key, and stress is terribly bad on everyone. So I think some good advice on what we can do would be great.
And it's important to know that not everything I'm about to list is going to work for everyone. You have to find what works for you, because everyone is unique. Everyone is an individual. So what works for me may not work for MOCHA. What works for MOCHA may not work for Kim. So one of my favorites to help me calm down is music. When I feel overwhelmed by, I was doing it earlier, typing all this up for tonight's live stream. I was feeling a little stressed, trying to think through and get things ready. So I put my headphones on and I pulled up YouTube and I started listening to some music as I typed. And that helped me to calm down. Listening to music has a calming effect on the brain. It's been proven by scientific studies that it releases endorphins and those feel-good chemicals you've heard us talk about before. It'll help slow your heart rate down. It'll help slow your breathing down. So music is more than just something pretty to listen to. It is actually good for your health. Who knew? Who knew? I know that MOCHA loves listening to music, especially when she's stressed. I've seen her do it. She'll pop her earbuds in. So tell us, MOCHA, how does listening to music affect you?
Can you hear? Can you hear?
Are you there, MOCHA?
I don't know. She looks frozen.
Can you hear me?
No.
Yes, we got you.
Yeah, now I can.
You're cutting it.
Can you hear us?
God, here, look, technical difficulties. Yeah.
Of course. We have to have technical difficulties. It's what we do. What we do. We don't do anything but. So he was asking about you using music to calm you down. Do you use music to calm you down?
Oh yes. Oh, okay. We were talking about music. I mean, Dave, I always love music, and it's not just because of like my performer instinct or musical background. They do talk about how music therapy works in several different areas in the medical field, not just for stress, but for things. So I believe that if somebody, like when I get really stressed, I blast music. Now, the music that I blast might not work for Kim, it might not work for David, but I blast the music that works for me, and it makes me feel a whole lot better. Just listening to that. It might not cure the symptoms that I have of stress, but it definitely relaxes my mind, lets me start to have a fresh beginning and a new outlook on what actually is happening. And like, you review the circumstances that, arose to make you so stressed. The music, and it just relaxes you. If you read on, I forgot the article, but they talk, if you study while listening to classical music, it not only relieves stress, but it also helps you stay focused on the task that you're trying to do.
I've heard that. Music calms the wild beast. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And who knew?
So what other suggestions?
Like, I love classical music, but there's something about it that just, it helps you focus on the task. It helps you relieve stress. And there's different types of music that works for everybody. Like, I have a friend that can only really relieve, like get relaxed by listening to ukulele.
Oh, see, I love ukulele music. I am so jealous of people that can play a ukulele. God bless my sister, Rebecca. I'm not very musically inclined as far as instruments. I can play a trumpet. I can, kind of pick around on the piano. My sister, Rebecca, she taught herself to play the guitar. She taught herself to play the clarinet. And then she picked up the ukulele, and I'm like, no, you can't be over here playing Somewhere Over the Rainbow just as beautiful as that. And I can't even pluck a note on a ukulele. Oh my gosh, it's such a beautiful instrument.
So what other suggestions do you have?
Well, one that we stress a lot on our live streams, talk it out with a friend. If you've got if you're feeling stressed, call a friend, message a friend. You hear us say it all the time. If you don't have a friend to talk to, you can talk to the rainbow. We're your friend. When you talk things over with a good friend of yours, it can help to get a different perspective. Maybe we're overreacting to something, and that's causing us to have a perceived stressful situation. So just talking things out can help us, come back down to earth a little bit. I know that you two, Kim and Mocha, y'all talk all the time. Y'all are besties.
Yeah. When we're not busy. When we're not busy. But yeah, the thing is too, you don't necessarily even have to talk about it to a friend. You can talk about it with anybody. And there's support groups all out. And we have a line across the bottom of all kinds of places you can call and reach out to if you don't want to talk to your friends about it. If you want to just talk to somebody who doesn't know, then you can talk to people, because that is a definite thing you need to do when you're stressed out. It'll help you to get things off your chest. Plus, what I find, I was feeling some sort of way because of this pandemic, but the last couple of days I've had people on my phone off and on. And it's funny because just us talking about it makes me feel better. Okay, because they're talking about it, I'm talking about it. We kind of understand each other, and it's feeling kind of groovy. So it's like, okay, cool. So now I feel better. Okay, now did we change anything? No. Did we? Nothing changed. I just felt better knowing that we're not crazy. Okay, that we're just stressed out. Okay, what else?
If you don't have a friend that you can talk to, or you're not in a situation where you can reach out to someone, talk yourself through it. Don't worry about seeming crazy. Just tell yourself you're stressed out, why you're stressed out, what you have to do to get through it. Don't worry about how you look to the rest of the world, because your health comes first. Your health comes first. So if you can talk yourself through it, that's awesome. But not everyone can do that. I know I can't do that. I'm not one of those people that can just talk myself out of a stressful situation. I know some people that can, but I've always got to have someone on speed dial. I've got a list of like 8 or 9 people I know that I can pick up the phone and they're going to be there for me, because I know that I can't talk myself out of stuff. That's just part of my biological makeup.
I know I'm going to come unglued. It's okay. I like that. I like that a lot. At least we know. Okay. And then we have a heads up. Okay. What else?
So another one that I didn't necessarily think about until I was doing my research this week: eat right. Mind your diet. Stress levels and a proper diet are very closely related, surprisingly. When you're overwhelmed, we forget to eat well. We go to the sugary and fatty snack foods as a pick-me-up. It's nothing to grab a bag of chips or grab a candy bar. And that really does a lot of damage to your body and makes it harder for your body to respond to those stress hormones, and helps regulate that glucose that we were talking about earlier. So it's especially important for diabetics or people with underlying medical conditions that you do maintain a proper diet, because the human body is a funny thing. It really is such a strange, weird, wonderful thing. So when you eat right, it can actually help manage stress.
It really does. It really does. If you fill your body with shit, you're going to feel like shit. That's the way that is.
That's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it.
That's the way it is. And we got to remember too, when we're depressed and stuff, we eat crap. Well, by eating crap, you're actually making yourself feel worse. So even though you're depressed and you want that chocolate cake and you want that whatever, you have to keep it in check, because if you eat bad food, it's going to make you feel bad. So you're not actually doing anything making yourself feel better by eating chocolate cake, even though I would love chocolate cake right now. Just saying.
Perfect example. I went and had a scoop of ice cream out of the refrigerator earlier, and I'm like, about 30 minutes later, I'm like, oh, I should not have eaten that, all that sugar. And I just felt terrible.
Right? Yes, but in the moment it was good.
I mean, the ice cream was good right then, but I paid for it later.
Right. Now this next one, I actually, there was a thing that's true. That actually can fight disease, the next one. So talk about the next one.
So another way to help alleviate stress is laughter. When you laugh, it releases those endorphins, those feel-good chemicals in your brain. That's going to improve your mood and decrease the levels of those stress hormones. Think of it like a water glass. If you pour a little bit of Coke in there, it's going to be so much full. But the more water you put in on top of the Coca-Cola, the lighter the Coca-Cola becomes. So it's the same way with stress chemicals. The more endorphins and feel-good chemicals that your brain releases, the less of those stress chemicals there are in your bloodstream and in your brain and going through your body at that time. So it's like Kim said, they actually have done studies, and the medical power of laughter has been proven time and time and time again.
Now,
It
I know
just
it's
does some
extreme.
great things.
I know it's extreme, and it is extreme. However, there are instances where people have been diagnosed with cancer, like bad cancer, and they totally didn't watch anything on TV or didn't talk about anything that wasn't funny. Like they watched funny videos all the time and they talked about funny stuff all the time, and everything was about being funny and happy. And she actually got rid of her cancer. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I know that positive does stuff. So laughing is for real, for real. And there's a thing, fake it till you make it. Even if you fake a smile, you're actually tricking your brain. So even though you're sad, and I know you feel sad, try to smile anyway. It actually makes the chemicals in your brain do things. This is true stuff. This laughter takes away stress. It really does. It really, really, really does. Even if you're not happy.
Another surprising way to relieve stress that my sister has clued me into is drinking tea. My sister is probably the world's #1 tea drinker. A large dose of caffeine from, and I'm gonna show that I've been bad today. I've got a soda right here, or Kim and coffee. I'm gonna call you out,
Right.
Kim. Kim loves
Right.
coffee, but those
And
have
my
a
coffee.
lot of caffeine in them, and it can actually cause a short-term spike in your blood pressure. It causes your heart to race. Instead of coffee or sodas or energy drinks, try green tea. My sister swears by green tea, but there's a very good reason behind that. It's because green tea has about half the caffeine of coffee or sodas, and it's got a lot of healthy antioxidants in it, such as amino acids that have a calming effect on our nervous system. So
Right.
tea actually helps to calm you down, believe it or not. I guess that's why in England, when they're faced with a bad situation, they put on a pot of tea instead of brewing a pot of coffee
No, they're just
because
proper.
they're glued in. Now, I do want to point out that you should always be mindful of your own body and how you're feeling. You're going to know better than anyone else what is working for you. What works for me is not going to work for you. What works for Kim is not going to work for MOCHA. So be mindful of your own body. These tips that we've suggested can provide immediate relief, but there's also some lifestyle changes you may need to make to be more effective in the long run in dealing with stress. The concept of mindfulness is, you've heard me talk about it before. It's a large part of it is meditative. Mindfulness is, I think we lost MOCHA. But mindfulness does involve, keeping an eye on yourself and meditating and being aware of your own body and how you feel. Yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, these are all systems of mindfulness that incorporate physical and mental exercise that prevent stress from becoming a problem.
And they do, and
Speaking
they're
of,
hard. They're hard. When
yeah,
you're doing yoga And I tried to do yoga like a couple weeks ago, and with everything going on in the news and everything was tripping, to stop your brain and to literally sit on the floor, and you're like, no, I need to go do that. No, I need to. And you're like, no, just sit here. Just sit here. Just sit here. It's very hard, but it's good for you when you're all stressed out to stop that flow, the rats running, and to stop. So yeah, being mindful, take a break, do yoga, drink you some tea, relax. It's important that you do that. Yes.
You've all heard me say it before. Take a moment for you. It's so important to have some me time in every single day. Whether, at the end of the day, that's sitting down with your favorite book for 15 minutes or taking a nice hot bubble bath. It's important to have moments for yourself that you can just relax. Now, we were talking about yoga and Pilates and all that. And another amazing thing that relieves stress is exercise. So when you exercise, you get your blood pumping, and it tricks your brain into releasing those feel-good chemicals again, those endorphins that we talked about. And when you exercise and you are mindful of your body, it can even help you sleep better. We know that studies have proven that having an interrupted sleep cycle or not getting very restful sleep, where your body doesn't go into that REM sleep, is just as bad for you as the stress that you're trying to get rid of. So sleeping, a full 8 to 10 hours is super important. Super, super important. It allows your body to kind of reset that internal clock, if you will. And it, lets your body breathe slowly, breathe evenly. So those are super important. And breathing is super, super important. Take a deep breath. You've heard me and Kim say it so many times. When you're stressed, take a deep breath. It really does help. It really, really does help. I know Kim has been on the phone with me so many times. David, I've just got to breathe. Let me breathe a minute.
Yes, but I'm trigger happy too. So sometimes I get mad. So I have to breathe. But I think breathing is good for stress, for whatever. It breaks that cycle. And I instantly go into fight or flight. I instantly go into the physiological runaway kind of stuff. No, you got to calm down. So I always am like, no, just breathe. Just breathe. You'll be fine. Absolutely. No, stress and breathing, it goes hand in hand. And what I find is the complicated things, all they do is complicate it. I think the simple things, that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the realize that I'm okay because I'm stressed out, that's the biggest thing. Like, tell yourself it's okay. I get so many people that the biggest problem they have when they're stressed out is that they're stressed out. And they feel guilty because they're stressed out. Like, I should be able to handle this and I'm stressed out. And I'm like, wait a minute. First of all, you have to realize you're allowed to be stressed out. And then you say, however, being this stressed out hurts. This isn't good. I need to find a way to relax. And my thing, learn to breathe, try some yoga, meditation. Absolutely. I'm down for that. Hot bath if you can. I found out some people can't because of their blood pressure, which I didn't think about. You always got to take care of you first. But I think sometimes just having a lotion day, maybe, a day to where you're going to put lotion on your feet or something. That's de-stressing. Candles, odor candles, vanilla candles, lavender candles. Those are relaxing, calming smells. Okay. I also heard cinnamon. Cinnamon is an excellent smell for calm. So try those things too. And David, I like all this information. It's a lot of information, but it's information about stress is a thing. Stress is a thing.
It is a thing.
Causes bad things to happen.
So again, we wanted to present this information so that we can help each and every one of you to survive and thrive. It's just that simple. Stress is a killer, and we want you to survive. Now, Kim, what do we have coming up next week that we want to let everyone know about?
Next week isn't that Piedmont Care? That's Piedmont Care.
It is Piedmont
Next week's
Care.
Piedmont Care, HIV and STI information, and then our board asked her some questions about trans questions, and she's looking into researching those, and she'll have answers for those as well. So that's at 7
So
p.m. next Friday.
7 p.m. next Friday. We wanted to specifically reach out to Piedmont Care and see, how they're responding to the COVID-19, what they're doing differently, how they're operating, because we want to get this information out to you guys. It is, HIV and STI health and awareness are so super important. So we wanted to get this out as quickly as possible. So that'll be next Friday at 7. And of course, we also have our monthly meetings the second Tuesday of every month at 7 o'clock right here on Facebook Live until we can get together and hug again. And I swear we're going to have a big old party one day called Hugapalooza, because the rainbow is huggy people.
Right? Everybody's been calling me, asking me about the prides. And we're getting so excited about the prides because there is a possibility we might have a few this year, and we're pretty excited about it. So we'll see. But I've said, man, can you imagine the very first pride where everybody can hug? It's going to be obnoxiously fun.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be obnoxiously
I'm not only hug and scream and jump and laugh, but I'm going to cry my eyes out because I've got human contact again.
Exactly, with all of our peeps from far away. It'll be great. It'll be great. I hate it that we missed MOCHA, but I guess it's time to say goodbye. But oh my gosh, I can't believe board members are calling me. I just want you to know, David, that there's board members calling me while I'm on a live.
Why does that not surprise me? But we love each and every one of you. If you didn't catch us live, we do go back and read the comments from this. So whenever you see it and you've got a comment or a question, please just go ahead and comment that right there on the video. And we do go back and we check these. And this will forever live on the Rainbow page. So you can always scroll back and find it and look up that information again. But we love each and every one of you. And we hope to see you again next Friday, Piedmont Care.
Now, if you do put a message on there and we don't get back with you, somehow that happens sometimes, please contact us again through Messenger or go through our website on the Contact Us link on there. We do not want to miss your call. Please make sure that you message us. If we don't get in touch with you within like 24 hours, then you make sure you contact us again because we're waiting to hear from you. You guys have a lovely week and we'll see y'all next Friday.
Bye.
Yank it.